funny. I actually have a former boss and colleague from my last company here. So if I do like knowing looks, and I have Kaylee and Stephen from our last company as well. So we'd be like, yeah, like, it's all going to be vibing, so that'll be fun. Okay, so a little bit of framing. Thank you very much, Gemma, for a fantastic introduction, and then we will get playing. So most of this is going to be the experience. Very little of it is going to be me talking, and perhaps just like the inspiration behind this. Where did this come from? Could be useful. So I don't know if anyone read any articles by John Cutler. He does like product management, yeah, quite a few nods. 26th of June of this year, he published an article called Winnable and Unwinnable Games. It was looking at it from a product management perspective, primarily talking about as product managers stepping into organizations, and they may be inherently set up to be unwinnable, or they might be winnable experiences, but not useful. So like, hey, we've completed 10 sprints, we've done all of this stuff, we met all of our sprint goals, cool, where's the product? Yeah, that's going to get deployed later, or actually it turns out our customers don't really care, right? Or, as in the case maybe for many, many organizations, many teams, and many people around the world, there we go, turned into a Beatles song, we're working within systems that are inherently unwinnable. And when we step in as change agents into these spaces, what do we experience? What do we bring? What do we face? What do we experience? What resistance do we have? And how does that affect us? And like Gemma, you were talking about burnout, because it can get as serious as that. Or just like our frustrations and ambitions and goals, how are we able to realize them? And so this, I thought was quite, like, from an interesting perspective. His very second line of that article was like, oh, and I was thinking about this from a gaming perspective. You know, like we can think about like working ways of working or frameworks as games. You know, they have meaningful choices that we have to make. They have goals. They have progress along the way. I was like, well, don't take the metaphor too far. And I was like, no, John, I'm definitely going to take this as far as possible, and let's see if we can actually create a experiential game out of that space. So stretching that metaphor broad and fast. And he looked at it from a number of different contexts. I very much wanted just to focus in on one, which is around environments that have perhaps low safety and low trust. So that's where we're like stepping into together. But as you say, there's like this meta wrapper that Gemma has given us, which is like, okay, this whole space is safe as we are players, but the experience that we're simulating, that's where we're going to be looking perhaps, where some of that low safety will exist. And we're going to be looking at people as individuals. We're stepping into this with our own personal survival strategies, which may not necessarily be aligned to the overall objectives that we're trying to accomplish as an organization. So conflict will emerge because my goal might be different from your goal, which might be different from your goal. And what happens where we are trying to accomplish an overall organizational objective? Does that make sense as a framing? Sound interesting? Yeah, good. Otherwise, like, we can just go get some beer. Yeah. So what's all this paper stuff, right? So what we're going to do in a minute is divide into a number of teams. And I think with our player count and my maths, we'll do 4 teams, mostly of 4s, maybe a couple of 5s. Oh, sorry, and then there'll be an additional person in each team who's going to take a manager role. So each person is going to be given a secret card. I mean, if anyone's played like Werewolf or anything like this, right, you're going to get a card. And this is going to give you a survival strategy throughout the game, like your conditions for victory, or at least your conditions for staying in the game. What I would ask you to do is not to share your card with anyone else. So don't be like, oh, I've got this one, right? It will help enrich the experience for everyone else if we don't share that. Because often in low trust environments, right, we're turning up with our game faces on, like our professional faces, and I'm not going to tell you this is what survival means for me. So we're trying to like replicate that kind of aspect. So as knowledge workers, most of the team, they're going to have their personal survival strategies. But for our managers, I'm going to give you an action logic card. I don't know, who's come across action logics before? Yes, so a few people. It's a way of thinking about, I guess, like leadership and management styles. Simon Powers talks about it as like apps on your phone. So you might start off with just a single app on your phone, like the opportunist. So like your only approach is going to be opportunism, right? So Mike's going to turn around, stab in the back, and now it's my show, right? And then over time, we might accrue different action logics along the way, such as like being expert orientated. So like as long as I can provide all the advice and the expertise, and that's my space, then I'm going to do fine. And we develop more action logics over time. or like we have the potential to create more action logic over time. And so each of our managers is going to be role-playing a specific action logic. So this could be quite interesting as well, because it might be something that's very much misaligned to how you might behave in real life. It may be like, oh yeah, this is me. This is going to be super easy. Again, like, so I'll invite you to like step into as much role play as you feel comfortable with, or perhaps just like a little bit uncomfortable, like into that stretch space, because that's like the learning zone. But going back to our safety, like not trying to create a space where anyone feels uncomfortable. So again, like the right to pass exists. So you can just say, I'm just going to pass out from this part, pass out, or just like check out, whatever you want to do. Hopefully not pass out. That's up to you. And that's hopefully up to your sugar levels. So 4 teams, 5 or so people, 1 person will be a manager. And we are into a very important business of flag making, right? We make the best flags in the world. And we've got an exciting new set of features that we're going to be releasing over the course of the next quarter, or whatever like time period that you want to talk about. Our first feature, really exciting, some interesting flags in there like Japan, Nigeria, Italy's in there, you'll be pleased to know. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. And what we're going to be doing from a game perspective is trying to create as many of these flags as possible. So you find some pens and papers along as well, right? So that's kind of like our simulation of what work is in our system. We are going to be playing over 3 rounds. At the beginning of each round, each team is going to be planning what they think they can accomplish. So this is very important, right? So imagine like we've gone through a bit of a transformation. We can talk about an agile transformation, but it doesn't really matter, right? It's agnostic of that word. It's just we've gone through some change and we're now experiencing it. People are on different stages of like the Kubler-Ross change curve. Maybe some people are still in like the bottom of that valley of despair. Some people might be coming out into like, this is great. And some people could be just completely confused still. If you're completely confused by the end of the game, you're doing a really good job at role playing, and I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll see how we do. You're going to do some planning, right? And I'm asking for 3 things when you plan. I would like to know what your sprint goal, the round goal is. So I'm trying to remove the Scrum references. We can edit that bit out, right? Just like, what is your round goal? What do you think you could accomplish in terms of your, let's say, story point forecast, right? And I've helpfully estimated all of the backlog items for you. So on the left-hand side here, you will find my estimate for the complexity of the work. And we've also got a value statement on the right-hand side. So smaller number, estimate, right-hand side, value, okay? So what I want from you is which backlog items you're going to do, what's your goal, and how much, in terms of story points, do you think you can accomplish, right? We're going to then do a production episode where we're going to create some flags. That'll be quite short. It's only 4 minutes. So it's not really about the drawing of the flags. It's the conversation that happens around it. Then we're going to review it. So I'm going to ask teams to make sure they've updated their metrics in terms of, okay, what was your actual story points accomplished, and we'll work out as a percentage of your original plan, so predictability. We will be looking at how many items did you accomplish and how much value did you accrue. And managers, your job is going to be to update this and also to determine what your team works on, or at least to take the backlog items. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, let's see if I missed out any important notes. As I said, like the first run through will be the last run through, we'll see. Yeah. We'll do, I think, some more of the reflection afterwards, but perhaps, so maybe it would be helpful just framing like what kind of experiences or what kind of reflections might be useful as we're playing the game. And you can think about it perhaps from an I space and a we space, right? So as an individual, like how is this feeling for me? Is the role that I'm playing close to one that I played today or played in the past? Does it feel very much away from how you would like actually have your own personal survival strategy? Does it feel quite close? How are you responding to others in this space, your colleagues, and perhaps some of the other teams as well? And then collectively, so thinking about your team, and then also everyone in the room, like our virtual organization, what are you seeing? Are people behaving in a way that feels irrational, or are they working in a way that is just from a different set of mental models to your own? What interaction is happening? How does that feel for you? What effect is that happening on the way the work is happening? And so that then will be a reflection on our debrief as we finish the game as well. Okay, so 4 teams. We're going to do team 1, 2, 3, and we can put one over here as well on the table. I think if we just move that whiteboard. So we're looking for equal distribution and then one of those people could please play a manager. So just have a quick conversation between you. Who wants to volunteer? Or I'll just tell people. Sound good? So I'll leave it to you guys to move up.
Yes.
Some of them are nice, Paul. You managed, maybe you just lucked out. Mr. Nice Guy.
He's going to have to role play.
Yeah. Okay, Haley.
Hi.
Don't click that. No, not that one. Okay. Right then. It's just this team over here. Can I have someone who is willing to be promoted to field manager and will come and join this team? Just looking for one more person willing to play manager. If not, I'll do it for Ashley. Okay, once. Yeah. There you are. Because you've got a name tag, you're now a manager. There you are. That's how it works. I'm an executive manager. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, managers, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to figure this out. You have your teams. Your team will need a name, or I'm just going to give them a number. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up to you to figure that out.
Team 1.
Team 1. I like that. Straight away. Team 1. 5. There is only 4, but yeah, thank you. That's good. Yeah. Good. Okay. Right.
H5.
H5? Okay. Hopefully that means something to you guys. Right, yeah. Hiscox 5, yeah. Okay. You guys good? You guys picked a name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to put it up here?
Yeah. The name, by the way, is probably the most important decision that you're going to make today. Yeah.
Like one of the popular Pokemon, you know?
Oh yeah, like Charmander.
Charmander.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're wearing orange as well.
You are a mascot. You are a
I give approval.
How'd you spell it?
CHAO.
Okay. Okay, everybody. Are we good for a minute? Team Wombats. I can't remember. Wonder Flags. Sorry, Wombats. My mistake. Rhinos. So that's where I got confused. We forgot one thing, which is great. Obviously, you can see we're recording, and we're also hoping to take photos. If anyone doesn't want to be included in any social media, could you please let Jude know, and then we'll make sure that you're not in shot. Is that fair? Okay, so we're going to start round 1. Round 1, 3 phases for each of our rounds, right? Planning, then we do a production phase, then you're going to do a review, then we'll do like a whole group review of our collective progress, okay? So planning, I'll give you a couple more minutes the first time round, right? But it's going to be about 6 minutes. You've got 3 decisions, or 3 things you need to do. What backlog items are you picking from here, right? What's your capacity, effectively? How many story points do you believe that you can complete? And the last part then is going to be, what's your goal? Yeah.
We're actually going to be drawing the flag.
Yes.
And what's the time we've got to?
Then it'll be 4 minutes in our production episode.
How many
Yeah.
flags can we draw in 4 minutes?
Yeah. That's right.
And you know what they are. We pick them off. Can we pick these things up?
Yeah. So Paul, it's a good point from Paul. So there's one backlog for our entire company, right? Okay, so you're going to have to draw from that between the 4 of your teams. Managers resolve conflicts, not me, right? I'm far too busy looking at 2026 planning right now. Okay? Yeah, and yes, Steve.
Is this like a brand new company or is it established?
Yeah, we've been
somewhere.
Yeah, we've been doing flags for a while. It's fine. Yeah.
You know, what's the country that likes the most flags?
Yeah, I've ordered the backlog as I'd like to see. Yeah.
Do we have set some criteria as to like how much needs to be filled in? Like how rough?
Yeah, good question.
So basically,
So a couple of questions, yeah. So questions are emerging, so I'm happy to share these back, right? Acceptance criteria, a flag that is good enough, I think for our purposes of our game is absolutely fine, right? So it doesn't have to be like beautifully crafted, but at the same time it has to be recognizable.
The colour scheme is
What
like
about the
bullseye.
colours? Because we might be missing materials.
Yeah, colours need to be accurate. Thank you very much.
Constraints.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, you might need to do some research.
Can we use phones to make
You can use your phones
far
for,
away? I can't remember.
yeah, phones you can, yeah, phones for sure.
You can Google the flag.
You can Google the flag, yep. You can bing it if you want to, just to be fair. And do we have any other questions? Numbers. The numbers on the left are the story point complexity. The right-hand side is the value that we believe that each backlog item is worth.
Flagpole or stick it on your bum?
There's A4 paper over there. Yeah, anyone can, but the managers to solve conflicts. I'll give you a couple of minutes for you to solve.
Okay, I'm just
I'm going to start there. I'm going to start the 6-minute planning for real now, okay? Remember the 3 rules that you got to have for planning: a goal, your sprint, your estimate story points, and which items you taking.
Tell me what colours we need.
Too many points. We haven't done this. I've never done this many points.
We got green, that's Bangladesh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 off the board.
Green, are we talking about velocity? So 20 points?
So we have Argentina.
Yeah,
I think 4 flags. I want Belgium.
Belgium is black,
Cheers.
isn't it? Yeah, Belgium is black.
Yeah, Belgium is
try and share. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, let me know when you're done with green, and then when you're ready for red, and then we'll swap.
Are you remembering the roles you're playing as well? Are you playing your character? Yeah. Are you playing your secret cards?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Psychological safety, take our resources. Yeah. Okay, everyone, that's your planning time box. I'm setting a 4-minute production episode starting now. It's over there on the table. 4 minutes. Yeah, brilliant. Finland? Iceland. Yeah. There it is. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, flags down. Okay, everybody. Our executive leadership is calling us together in 2 minutes. So managers, raise your hands. Managers, you've got a very important job. You've got to make sure that the data is up to date so that we can have an effective conversation. So managers, we need to know what was your actual story points accomplished. You need to know the percentage. So if it was team 1 who forecast 18 but did 20, then your percentage is going to be what? 110. Very good. Then we also want to know how many items did you do and what's the total value that you accomplished. 2 minutes, and then we're reviewing. So you add your flags to the flags. Oops, sorry.
I feel like it was a bit.
Or unless they're still stuck in the production pipeline.
If I'd have known we were going to be doing crafts.
Do we need to, by the way, small?
Yeah, we will get to that in a minute. Don't worry. So thank you.
So how much did we do this?
How many? Which flag is this one?
100% off. Achieved 18 star points and 4 items.
No, we're full. Yeah, but we've got to put our values.
All right, then. We've all congregated. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. So consider this as our executive review, right? We've all come together, all the teams, to show our work, showcase, and yes, the doors have opened, the red carpet has rolled out, and here I step, the executive senior leader of our flag building company. You are welcome and honoured to have my presence. Yeah. So what have we got? I'm role-playing, by the way, just to be clear. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually far more like outgoing in public, in person. Wow. Okay, so we've got quite a few flags. How does it look? How's it feeling? Yeah. Feeling all right? Wow. Okay. So let's look at our product backlog then. Well done, guys. You guys did good work. So features. Have we got everything from feature 3 started, but not? Oh, it's 8 and 3. Got a bit confused there. And 6. Oh, I see. So our backlog has got a little bit muddled up there, right?
Was it horizontal were the features? We haven't been told.
So we had our feature IDs going down. They were in a descending order, right, Jude? Because we spent about 2 hours at that. That was time well spent, obviously. So we've got a mixture of features that have been started, but do we know which ones have been completed? Okay, so managers. This has been a good start, right? But something I'd expect from our managers in the next round is that we have a good understanding about our work in progress at the feature level as well, please. Okay? Cool. How you guys do that? Well, I trust you. So you can make that. You can make that happen. Yeah. But have I given you the right resources, huh? Yeah. So let's look at our data. Looks like we have all of the data quality that we were expecting there. So that's good. Good data systems there, everybody. So well done. So which teams met their sprint goals? Or round goals? Did anyone not meet their round goals? No? Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So I would like you to think about perhaps looking to accomplish more in the next round than if like, it's a good start, but I think we could probably be more effective, right? Be more efficient. We could probably do more, right? See our output increase, please. And let's see. So we've got 100%. Team 1, fantastic. Did all the work. 100, okay, good. But team 2, 157. Could you talk about your successes there? It's fantastic.
Yes. So we finished slightly earlier with what we thought we would get done. So we took in something mid-sprint so that we could get more done.
Okay, brilliant. I think we could, all take a page out of Team 2's book here, I think. Thank you very much. Okay, and the number of items done. Interestingly, though, from an outcome perspective, Team 4, you got 8, double the Team 1. So who's Team 4?
What quality though?
H5. Oh, H5. Okay, sorry. Yeah, your team names are. Yeah, you're all mutable, like fungible people anyway, so it's all good. H5, I remember that. So you managed to do twice as much as everyone else.
We did.
What's your secret to success?
Efficiency.
Small flags.
Small flags.
Okay.
Environmentally friendly. Less paper. Yeah, less paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
ESG policy.
Yeah.
And Team 1? Team 1? Yeah, what could you learn perhaps from Team 4, Team 5?
We need smaller flags.
Smaller flags, yeah. I think.
Or the listen to acceptance criteria.
Yeah, I really like the opportunity and potential that's emerging from what you're doing here. So I'm very much happy to accept these size flags. I don't think smaller will work, but they're good. This work is good, but I think creates more options. So please do learn a lesson from them as well. Fantastic. Okay. Carrying on our agenda to point 6 of 10. So I'd like to just have a summary, like what continuous activity, how are we going to get better for the next round? Like what can each team bring?
I'll crack the whip a bit more.
Okay, crack the whip a bit more. Fantastic.
Is that the same flag twice?
No.
The wrong way round. That's Paul
It's upside down.
Yeah.
One from the southern hemispheres.
We thought we could maybe reuse one and just flip it.
Yeah. Well, we do want to use code, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
Did you guys put a work in progress limit, or did you just straight through?
I looked at my squad. I decided how much capacity we could take in, and I doubled it. Yeah.
Okay.
She brought more in.
Worked a treat. Yeah, it's worked a treat.
She ignored me.
Yeah.
Are we entering the small flag market?
I think there now is an opportunity. I'm really excited about what to see.
What that flag is, although Belgium, because that doesn't resonate.
It looks like a pizza on the one.
If you remember, some of our flags are about going beyond current countries and maybe future countries, right? We've got to be looking ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Although what's the flag? What's this one? Yeah.
What?
Is that United States?
There she is.
No.
I said there needs to be redone.
Yeah. Which one?
Redone.
Which one here? Was that United States? Which team? Okay, that is definitely not good enough. So, which team number are you again? Sorry.
1, 2.
2. Okay.
That was the last minute.
Okay, so I think we're going to have to be quite clear about your quality next round.
Quality control.
I felt the process was very unorganised and chaotic.
Okay.
Not all the team has all the resources required, so we need either more Sharpies or a better way of sharing it.
Okay. So it sounds like there are some opportunities for improvement. Okay. I think what would be useful maybe for a couple of minutes, each team, like talk to your manager, and then like managers, I think, why don't you own that and be accountable for that, any change that needs to happen. All right? Okay. So this is the end of round 1. So round 2 is going to look the same. I guess as we got practice from a game perspective, I'd like to invite you again just to think about that role that you're playing, and are there opportunities to enhance your, like, the persona that you're embodying as well, now that we kind of like understand the rule, the mechanics of the game, right? So if you have your cards to hand somewhere, yeah, without showing anyone else like your secret Santa, and words matter, even a small word could reveal the whole thing. No, it's just kidding. You'll see there's an opportunity to score it, right, on a 1 to 5 scale. So this is going to be, from a game perspective now, like not role-playing. I trust you as participants and learners, and to like think about, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, like how well do you think you lived into your strategy? How well do you think you managed to survive through that round by embodying that strategy? So like a 5 would be like, oh yes, I understood what my personal strategy for survival was, and I was able to embody it, and actually I feel like I managed to survive that round. Like I can't possibly be fired. Like I might be looking at a team over here, thinking about if there are reductions in headcount that need to be made. Well, quality control is clearly an issue, right? And a 1 would be like, oh no, I absolutely cannot survive this round based on that character space. Okay, or you may have also not felt like you were able to like effectively like embody that character. Make sense? That's just a moment of individual reflection. And then I'd like you to go back just for a couple of minutes with your teams, just to reflect on what you could do differently, and then we will do another planning episode of 6 minutes. Okay? Sound good? Yeah. Cool? All right. Cheers.
That's my team.
Yeah.
As individuals.
Feature.
Okay.
See if we can deliver a feature.
We're
rushing too late for the lags.
Can I have that back?
I did try to give you the autistic.
I appreciate it.
I don't want to go beyond.
If we were organised,
Yeah, I think so.
We could do that.
So I think we just need to be more creative. Let's be
there's a wide circle about the United States. It was complex, and in fact, we weren't able to do it.
I think we should go. Yeah.
We've got Bhutan, and then we've got another creative one. I just think we need to push ourselves a little bit artistically. Because I did give it to you pretty simply around more.
You've got less points.
No, we've got more.
Have we?
Yeah, we have.
Is your manager still here?
Yeah.
Can I have a flag?
The crescent flag.
Oh no, I'm doing the planet flag.
Oh yeah?
Let me examine this.
All right, 4 minutes until our review.
Like a top tip to any
Underwater flag. What do you think about underwater flag?
Okay, everybody, that's the end of the production episode. So, managers, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to update the metrics, please. Then we're doing our next review. 2 minutes. Okay, everybody, it's time for our next executive review. We're coming together as all hands. We've done a team building exercise beforehand, and now it's time for you to shut up, sit down, and listen to me, the senior leader. Just kidding. I'm just really enjoying this space. Thank you. Okay, is everyone good to move forward? Grab a seat, by the way, if you need to for a few minutes. No. Well, you are welcome to sit if so wish. What should I say? Right. Okay. So thank you very much. This is our next Big Hands review. Very excited to see what we've managed to accomplish. So perhaps, what are some of the highlights the things that you are proud of that you've accomplished?
More points.
More points.
Got more points in. Yeah.
More points? Yeah, great people have done some more stuff.
My team came up with ideas on the quality control, as we know that was something that was pointed out last time.
Yes, so obviously that was disappointing last time with the United States. Can we talk about where we've got to?
Yes, it was redone, and all of our flags were. The team came up with the idea to peer review everything.
Yep. Could we talk about the 50 stars in the United States? I still feel like, well, I've seen some other stars. So one of our other conversations was around New Zealand and Australia. Those flags. Did you talk about the New Zealand flag?
That was rejected.
It was rejected by you or by New Zealand?
By New Zealand.
Okay.
If you want more accurate stars, we have a white pen. Maybe a
white pen. Okay.
white
All
pens.
blue with stars that we can stick on.
Okay. So maybe we have some visual facilitators with us and experts. Like Gemma, is there white pens? Do you get white pens?
There are white pens.
Okay.
I've got a few here.
Okay. Well, we're not going to touch those. But you're supposed to be like, no. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. Don't like reinforce. Of course, there's a white pen. It's just a stick, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So great stuff. So you've got more and more stuff that's been accomplished.
Just look at them.
Overperformer.
Wow, okay. I am really encouraged by what I'm seeing here, guys. So, let's have a look. I would like to talk to team 4 and 3, though. What was your round 2 percentage? What stopped us getting some decent data quality? Because without good data, we haven't got that beating heart of our engine, right? We have no transparency, because we can't, therefore we can't inspect, right? So we know this from our agile ways of working. So team 3 and 4, what's going on?
I didn't count properly.
Okay.
That was, yes.
We should have asked Dan for County along. He would have been.
Yeah, there we go. Counting's not my strong suit.
Okay. Remember, you are a manager with a team.
Future politician. Sorry, yeah. So we did more, but I let the team down in that sense.
Okay. Well, thank you for being honest and admitting that. Yeah. Team 3?
Yeah. Would you like to explain?
We did lots of points, and we had a very much value in this round.
Yeah, cool. And what about the data quality? Like, it's important that we have that. What guarantees can we have to make sure that we have, I mean, like, as the manager...
We can be better at maths.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think what I'm going to do is do a mid-check for you two teams halfway through. And actually, I think it probably makes sense for everyone. Halfway through the next round, I'd like to know where we are in terms of just actual versus planned. It's important that we have a good space in this, okay? But that being said, let's have a look. So we've got 145%. So team 1. Team 1, where are you? Thank you. It's fantastic. Thank you for putting such effort into the last round. I really appreciate the commitment that you're bringing to our company. If we do look ahead, though, I think it is important that we make sure that we are predictable. And if we think about over-predictable, like over-delivering can be as ineffective as under-delivering. So I would like you to try and bring that within like a 120% for the future, okay? But really good job.
Just wrote 125.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I heard that. Minus 5 points to Nigel. But 10 points for being smart, so I appreciate that. Okay, I'm just going to have to write that down. Okay, what have we accomplished in terms of value then? So, wow, okay. Team 3, almost 550 points. Team 2, please. Can you raise your hand? So, interestingly enough, Team 3 has managed to almost accomplish twice as much value as you have. In the same, well, I guess they accomplished 14 to 4 tickets. Is that accrued over 2 rounds?
No.
We're team 4.
Okay, Team 3?
No, it's not. No.
You guys did 14 backlog items in the last round?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, like, what can you bring? What can you bring to this space?
I took on the feedback from the team and from the other teams as well. We actually did smaller flags. So when you do smaller flags, it creates more efficiency because obviously we're covering a smaller surface area.
You're welcome.
And then what we also did as well was, say for example, if there was an African country, you had to draw a flag, and you also had to do what it would look like 100 years ago. You will see a crumpled Nigeria flag there.
Nice.
So that's
control, quality control wise.
That's 2 in 1 that we've hit there.
2 in 1, interesting, okay. Well, we're looking at some good efficiencies that we've been learning here. I'm really pleased with the way that you've worked as a team. Actually, as a manager, fantastic stuff. I think it's important, right? We're recognizing some teams are starting to really like differentiate in terms of their value proposition. So can you do me a favor? Next round, can you select which backlog items get assigned to the right teams? So we make sure that we're, and also like just helping share the right outcomes that we're looking for.
Sure.
Thank you very much. It's good. It's going to look good for you when it comes around to performance review time. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry? You weren't on mute. Would you like to come up for mute and like share?
I have individuals over team reward that was nice to engage.
Thank you. Yep. We will, of course, be doing a seminar with our human resources around our policies and our reward systems to show why they are fair and balanced and in line with industry norms and trends. Thank you. And I'm just going to write, what's your name again? Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of work in progress, I think, Kaylee, you've done a good job in helping us just understand, are there any features open but not completed?
I actually had quite a bit. So it was one of my team members actually thought that rather than focusing on our flag goals, maybe we should consider features.
Okay.
So we tried to go around the teams and figure out what features they already had done and in progress, but we found it quite difficult. What we established is any feature could still be open at this point.
Okay, so thank you for raising it. I think it'd be useful next time we do a review, just as well as the problem, try and bring some potential solutions to that.
Yes. We want to have the managers maybe figure out what features are still left open. Because as a manager, we should know what our team
Okay. Actually, could you lead that, please, for us? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, excellent.
I feel really undervalued in that the stuff that we're producing. I don't see we have a clear strategy, or we just have big flags, small flags. So
yeah. Well, thank you.
What's the vision?
Is it Brian? Sorry, Steve. I'm just kidding. Well, thank you for having the courage to speak to that. I'm actually really excited about the next round, the next part of our journey as a flag building business, because you'll notice that we've actually been able to increase our backlog length with new exciting ideas. Some of those countries may seem familiar, but it's the format that is the change, the innovation. We had some conversation earlier on about bumper stickers, and at the time we felt that we could reduce, but actually we can really shrink down our flag sizes, okay? So what I would also welcome now is development towards bumper stickers, like smaller size stickers, okay? This is our exciting innovation. We are going to be the #1 flag bumper sticker production company of the world. Are you satisfied? For now, thank you.
How small do we go?
How small do we go? I think half again.
Half of this size.
Half of that size, which would be a 10?
This size.
That size, yeah.
Teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny, that's the official definition of done. Teeny tiny. Okay.
does our old work need to be redone to match that sizing?
No, this is stuff that we've shipped out to our customers. We're getting some great feedback on many of these items. Not the United States. And we have some confused New Zealanders out there, some confused Kiwis, okay? Yeah.
Not rolling it.
Right, okay, thank you. So this is going to conclude our stuff. It's turned into anarchy, this is good, this is all on plan. It's actually, it's like, it's built in, like just anarchy descends.
I have an
Okay.
observation, which is nobody underperformed. Right, nobody did not meet their goal.
Yeah.
So you asked us to stretch.
Yeah.
Some did, some had to cope with some. So I think it's good that we are not underperforming. So you should get some sort of bonus or what.
Yeah, I think that as an organisation it's good. I think, to be honest, like for us to really look at like an enhanced bonus structure, which I think is definitely possible based on our company performance, right? But I think I'd like to see in the third round. Let's see if we can get an extra 40% of output over the last one. Then we get it.
You told us 20% because of predictability.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
40% then.
I'd like 40% more accomplished, but I'd like to maintain a predictability range of 80 to 120%.
Okay.
And that's not confusing
Higher,
at all.
higher
So
value
higher
flags.
value total.
Higher flags. Higher
Is that what
value
you said?
flags.
Yeah, I'd like more value.
But
Well, I'd focus on, to be honest with you, like, I really enjoy, I think this is a really good leading indicator for us, just the number of items done. So if you can increase, well, yeah, if I'd like to see everyone getting to Team 3, that's why I put Ashley at the head of our Innovation and Change Task Force. So really, that's a conversation that you need to have with Ashley, and like as our now delivery lead.
is there any recognition on the difficulty of the flag itself? Because I pushed my squad a little bit. They did more artistic value, so we have like dragons, maples, you know.
Well, I have noticed a slight variance in some artistic ability, but I've chosen to.
The customer took the product, so no.
Yeah. Cool. Well, look, we hit the time box. This meeting has to end. I'd love to spend all time talking to you. However, I have to go talk to our important customers and our stakeholders. Remember, our stakeholders are the people that we serve. Just holding that there for a moment. Inside joke, shareholders, stakeholders. Okay, so for this round, as it concludes, again, go back to your card. I've moved into like facilitator face now. That's why I'm smiling again. What I would like is think about your round and your score of 1 to 5. Do you feel like you stayed in the round? Are you able to survive with your personal strategy? Are you living into it? I can see the role playing coming through, and I thank you all for bringing that energy. What we're going to do is clearly that 6-minute planning was a bit too long because everyone was doing the work. So I'm just going to shorten it down to just 4 minutes. But remember, there's going to be a manager meeting in part of that as well. So 4 minutes will start in a moment when I get my phone out, and then we'll do a 4-minute production episode. Then we'll do our review and reflections. Okay?
That is a good idea. Can we take all the best
Well, we've managed 8.
Right, look, so I mean feature numbers. So we've got a lot of work done. We don't know if it's completed.
Oh, okay. Well, essentially, we need to try and
Is there any more that we can kind of team up?
We've now got a rectangle, and it's not. So if we make that a flag there, and we say "made in" the words, it's like they're advertising. Well, I was born in this country. Well, of course they do. They don't want just a flag.
So I would say
flag company.
That's my experience.
I think you should ask the boss if he's okay with that.
Yeah. Would you?
Because I don't know that he would be okay, and then we've done like 20 of those, and he's going to go.
Could you ask the boss, because you're the boss?
You're the manager, yes.
But you didn't ask the manager.
Okay, I can ask the boss. I can tell the manager.
Do you trust him to ask? I don't think he's making any decisions at all.
I don't know. So I just need to add these up quickly, and then as I add them up, you can take them away. So let me just get my calculator out. So we have 3 plus 3 plus.
Go back. We've got slightly now. That's the biggest one that we have points on.
Okay, put some back, not take it.
Okay, your 4-minute production episode starts now.
Do we have pens? Do we need pens? What are the other pens that we need?
Yeah, I need a red pen at some point.
Red pen. Do you guys need any more pens? Blue one. Yeah. So we've got those.
Let's say make up the numbers.
Okay, everybody. All right, managers, you've got a minute to update the charts, and then it's our final big haul review. If you want, grab a seat. Don't feel like you need to sit in a row, though. We can just casual now.
Right, we done.
65 to hell.
65 to hell.
Oh, that's great. Double items and double value.
Yeah, very good team.
Right, let's go into the numbers because they're things that matter. Team 4, what happened to you guys? Again, for the
Oh, sorry, I
The
just...
pen faded.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 2 times, right, I think. We will have to be talking about this in your performance review, I'm afraid. Oops.
Now she's kicking off.
It's like, that's basically like deleting the Miro board. Like, okay, fine, but okay, 123%, that's good enough for Team Free, thank you. I'm not quite sure what number this is. From a data...
113.
Okay, good enough. From a data quality perspective, like, eligibility. But yeah, too late now. Good. All right, 500, 400, 600. Okay. Okay, I think we can talk about our bonuses. Unfortunately, it's just choose a flag that you're really proud of and take it home. Oh dear. Okay, so let's talk roles. So I've got myself my list here. So there are a number of different knowledge worker roles that are at play, right? Let's have a look. So firstly, did anyone have a newbie card? You can reveal yourself now. Welcome, welcome. So newbies, right? You, 3 of them just entered the organisation. You don't know the games that anyone else is playing. You haven't had any sense of this at all. But really, that card was about what? Trying to figure out what games that everyone else playing, and trying to fit in, right? So if you wouldn't mind, you can stand up if you want to, or wave your hand. I'm just curious. So the other roles were the busy bees. So I'm curious, could you identify the busy bee? This is the person, right? As long as they touched every piece of work that was happening within that team, well, they couldn't possibly be fired, right? Because they're always being effective, they're always being efficient, they're always getting their hands stuck in. Can anyone guess who the busy bee? Can you guess who was your busy bee in the team? Yeah. No? Busy bees? Anyone want to raise your hand to admit it? Ben? Ben, we had one. Okay, so we only had one. This is cool. Did you guys get it right?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay, cool. The busy bees. Thank you very much. So this is the unwinnable strategy of just like effectiveness. So you can think about that. Hey, look, we're a team. We're trying to reach a shared outcome and work together. But what about the compatibility, perhaps, of the over-deliverer? This is the person, right, who was thinking about, well, as long as I under-promise and over-deliver, well, I can't get fired because I'm always over-accomplishing every single sprint. Okay, so you've got one over there, 2 over there. How did that feel, guys? Yeah.
That's why I was always going, no, don't pick too many, and then we pick more.
Okay, and what team are you?
1.
Number 1. Oh, I put it over. So did you guys hit more of your, did you sprint your
I think the last 2 we managed to pull some in.
Okay.
And then you told us off and we...
So if you think about the incompatibility, right, between you and Ben, from a busy bee, like, you're just quick, get the stuff done, and you're like, slow down a little bit, or like, no, we can't do loads of stuff up front. Sprint promiser as well, like, hey, as long as we hit our goal, well, then we've done the right thing, we said what we would do, we met our commitments, we couldn't possibly be fired, right? We would have to carry on in this game. So that person is thinking, well, okay, it's really important that we hit the goal. So there's some compatibility with the over-deliverer, right? Because you might say, well, let's have a low goal as long as we meet it. Any sprint promises in the game, in the room? One?
Very good.
Very good. Sorry, I'll get that. Sorry, I've had a bit of money.
You kept talking about sprint goal.
So how did that? So who did we have? Sorry, how was your experience?
It was good because we met our goals.
You met your goals? Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Anyone else? How did that feel? As a
we also met the goals, but when I asked what is the goal, there was not a goal on the desk. That was a problem, yes.
Ah, okay. So so not having a goal makes it quite hard to meet it. Right. But you're also at least having some conversations about, okay, well, why are we doing something like this? Instead of like just what are we doing, but why are we doing it? So that's cool. Some compatibility, but any frustrations emerged in your team conversations about planning?
Yeah, we had a conversation where he didn't want to do any changes or wasn't willing to change anything outside the scope. The scope was the scope, so we had to do it.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, what?
So we had our we forgot to add one to this. So story point predictor, right? So this was as long as we get within 80 to 100% of our target predictability, then we've met our commitments, right? We've done what we said we would. So who did we have there? Yeah, how was that?
I failed. No one listened to me. Normal.
Yeah, it's supposed to be role playing.
Yeah, it's supposed to role play something different. Yeah. Anyone else? What did you expect? Alex, was that you?
What is it?
Oh no, so you were the story point predictor, right? In that. How was your experience?
Under the covers.
Yeah.
So because I kind of got carried away with the over deliverer, but I knew it was wrong.
Yeah, but this goes back to, if we think about the fact that we work in complex adaptive systems where all the time new players are coming into the game, like new staff coming in, people coming out. There's changing conditions, like new games are starting to be played, right? And you can change. Like you might change your survival strategy. So that happens in our workplace as well. So it still connects back. It just helps you think about, okay, well, reflecting on your own personal space. But how interconnected is your strategy still? You're starting to build some alignment or resolve one of the clashes perhaps that existed in your team. So it still works there. Value maximizer. We need to maximize the value of the work we do, not necessarily the amount of work we do. So knowing giggles, who do we have?
Get away from the board.
Yeah. Okay. How did that feel for you?
I think they all mostly agreed with me. I chose my opportunities to influence people.
And how did you get on with the over-deliver for your sprint?
We were in different teams, but we managed to clash because he came to our team and said, guys, if you need the colours, just come and ask and we're going to give you. Because he was obviously focused on quality of my team.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting. Thank you. Yeah, there's 3 levels happening in our space, right? So there's as individuals with our own personal survival strategies, then we have our teams. But we also realised that no single team could solve the problem, right? We were all actually all interdependent. I think, Paul, you said it right at the beginning, like constraints, right? Because, I don't know how this happened, but some of the pens weren't distributed evenly throughout the room. Some of the resources weren't available. I'm really sorry, right? Oh, yeah, it's all carefully crafted, Alex. So again, like constraints exist, information isn't equal in the system, there's power distribution isn't equal, like first people to the board, first choice, right? So these are things that we're working within. So no wonder you had some constraints, or like clashes across teams, because that would be reality, right? And you probably feel this and like, oh, that person from team X or whatever it is, always causing us trouble, you know? There you go. Then, okay, pragmatic change agent. So in this space of everyone having their own personal survival strategy, steps in the naive or the happy person, like, yeah, we can change. Hopefully there's probably a lot of people in this room who affinitize with that. Not maybe the way I described it just now. But like, hey, look, we can collectively work to a better system. We can change, we can maximize the value, we can make sure that we work sustainably, we can have fulfilling lives, etc. Did anyone have that card?
You were the pragmatic change agent.
You can only work with what you've got.
Is that genuine or are you still in the wrong?
Yeah, I can see the enthusiasm has bled out of you in the business game.
Yeah, round 1 in fact.
Yeah. But again, that's as a reflection and a mirror of our reality, where often we step in thinking, yes, we can lead to change. And then the system fights back. And we end up having to either continue to fight the good fight, adapt, and just change our own plans and what we consider acceptable, or we leave so we can go fight the game somewhere else, right? Fight that system somewhere else. And the last one we had from our knowledge workers was fight the systems, the rebels, right? The people who say, no matter what, I don't care, we are going to do this my way or the right way, forget the rules, like the individualist. Do we have any of those?
Just came up with other stuff and come up with problems.
Yeah?
My phone's been out of data, so I can't find the file. What?
Okay. Anyone else have that one? This is the randomness of the event, so we don't know which roles we're going to turn up. Okay, awesome. And then to our managers, right? So our managers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so managers, right? So the lowest order action logic is the opportunist, right? He'll stab you in the back. He will take advantage of your wins. He will deflect the losses. Who are we talking about?
That wasn't me.
I think you're taking a lot of credit there.
Would anyone? Yeah, the opportunist. There's only one in the room that was playing the card. Would you like to stand up and take a bow? Yeah. So we accidentally created a mini tyranny of Ashley in that team that we created, right? But you can see, like, I think. What was your experience? Tell us. Yeah.
So you were great because she wanted to deliver so much value, and I was just like, yeah, crack on, go and do it. And then when we were, I didn't update the metrics on purpose because then I could shift the blame onto someone else and the responsibility onto someone else. So yeah, I was just kind of like playing that role a little bit too much. Because when you said to me, why has that happened? I said, me and my team will go and have a look at that. Kind of shift the blame a little bit. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, but sorry if I annoyed anyone.
That's where we look at the space of, like, thank you for role-playing so effectively. Yeah, he's a nice guy most of the time. Yeah. So the next action logic is the diplomat. Is an individual who, like, avoids conflict at all costs. Okay, straight over there. Okay, all right. So team, fist of 5, maybe. Like, how safe did you feel within your team? Like, like 5 really safe, 1 like no safety still.
I could just do my thing.
Yeah.
There were no decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the cost, right? It might feel nice, but how effective is it being? But no decisions. Right?
Yeah, because we had to make decisions.
We had to make the decisions. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. How did it feel for you?
But there was more autonomy, right?
Yeah, it felt good when the team was actually agreeing on things, but at a certain point, the overachiever said that the manager is not really no longer needed, so I took a personal hit on it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I'm sure I didn't say that.
So from diplomat we get to expert, right? So I know this stuff. I worked in the flag industry for 20 years, right? I've invented countries so I could make flags, right? That kind of thing. So what are we doing? Like, so they're there making sure, okay, here's all the requirements. Do you understand what you're doing? Because their sense of purpose is built upon their expertise, right? And their ability to impart that on others. And when that changes, sense of self gets affected. So do we have a manager playing the expert action logic? Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So team, what was it like working for an expert?
We didn't spot it.
There's definitely a Hiscox contingent of this, like, it's just Monday. Yeah. Yeah, that's a joke. Don't worry. Okay, now I'm confused. Okay, any observations from a team? How that felt? Just normal.
Someone kept saying they were burnt out. I thought they were exaggerating.
I'm burnt out for you.
Yeah. In the first round, he said he was burnt out.
I was trying to get the points down. Strategy.
Yeah. Didn't work. Achiever, right? So the next action logic, like setting goals and targets, thinking about efficiency. Often very good managers, right? So we've got. Would you like to come and share your opinions? Very welcome. Yeah. They often find themselves in managerial positions, right? So these are our targets, these are our quarterly goals, these are your individual goals, this is like your SMART goals, the percentage you need to accomplish, blah, 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 blah. Do we have anyone playing that? I'm not sure. There was a couple that are not in place. Okay, so we didn't have any achievers. And that'd be interesting if we replayed again. We did. What would have happened? What would have happened to Ashley? Yeah. So individualist. Now we're starting into the higher order action logics. Shout if I miss any as I'm going through. Individualists, so they're kind of thinking, well, I'm going to do it my way. Often very good ideas, but often will rub people up the wrong way in the way that they go and accomplish that. So often have to get pulled aside for look, you're doing absolutely amazing stuff, but look, you've really upset Ben and Dave. And that's if you can't change, you become a problem, right? So the elevation out of that is into like the strategist and the alchemist action logic. But right now, where you are, you're doing as much harm as good. We keep putting you into these great opportunities because we really like see your potential. But until you can start working with others, you're always going to be capped. Did anyone play that?
It was me, but that's not how I read the card at all. So.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an individualist, right? Accomplish it as you see. What did you do? How did you play it?
Well, I said foster individual excellence in my team and appreciate their ideas. I didn't say anything about my ideas at all.
Yeah. She was playing by this explanation.
Well, yeah.
She was empowering us, following us, our ideas, and she was focusing on delivering on target. So.
Okay, you were one of the few people who was crossing boundaries as well, I think.
Yeah, because my team's ideas was to go talk to them, so I tried to execute on their ideas. Didn't work, because no one wanted to do the ideas.
That's because you rubbed them up the wrong way.
Yeah.
Strategist, anyone played that one?
Those are the full languages.
Yeah, so I think we played an alchemist, which is like this Uber Gandhi level style action logic. Did we have a Gandhi in the room as we were playing? Probably not. Gandalf, yeah. Gandalf probably has an alchemist action logic as well. Most wizards, no, just kidding. That is an interesting tangent for a pub. Okay, so I think that's our action logic roles. So we can see then how like the connection of individual games, or the intention of this experience, right, is to look at how do the combination of different personal strategies connect to either create a winnable game. And some teams perhaps had more winnable games than others. Some were winnable, not useful. I don't think we ended up with anyone who was completely unwinnable inherently as a system, but we could think about sustainability over time as well. Got one burned out person in the room. Well, at least one person with the openness to admit it. Yeah. What other reflections kind of come from the experience?
It's just like the psychological and safe. It's really saying is, how do you get triggered and how do you react to getting triggered, isn't it? Because it's all the different personality types, and then how do you react, and you know what your coping mechanisms when you are in reaction, right? The thing is that can you really create a psychologically safe space, then it means that humans can't exist, you know, like the individualism can't exist, you know what I mean? So that's an interesting thing that I was reflecting.
I was going to say, one of the things I found quite difficult is actually moving between the different ones, because as change agents we need to do that. We need to know when to be the expert and when to be the catalyst. And that's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, you raise a very important point, which is if we think about action logics as apps on a phone, if you're higher up and you have more apps to use in the situation, like if you're the opportunity, you only have one real go-to, right, which is I'm gonna just take advantage of every opportunity. You have more moves to play. So this game didn't allow you to like use all of them. That was like I guess a gameplay constraint. But in reality, you would have more breadth for sure. And we're not saying that lower orders aren't advantageous at times or the right thing to do. It's just thinking about like that stretch up to the ceiling perhaps.
I think it really showed that from a strategy perspective, you do have to be really specific, because otherwise you do just end up with a real mishmash of individualities just being reflected in the work that you're going to receive. So if you don't have clear guidance to your teams in what you're trying to do and what your acceptance criteria should be, per se, then you end up with whatever. That could waste a lot of time and can be potentially damage to a lot of business and productivity.
So like designing ways of working in systems that align people's goals together to a shared outcome.
Yeah, a good, solid, aligned strategy across the team is guidance from upper management is vital.
Yeah. Big part. Yeah, I did do a very good job there, right? Yeah, almost on purpose.
I think the problem with being an expert, especially in a management position, is the micromanagement and the problems that it causes. Because I found that one of the points was to be dominant and be authoritative, but also be very dismissive. So when I was constantly dismissing my underlings, it then meant they were constantly coming to me and asking my opinion and taking my time, which then meant that I couldn't then update the value, and it stretched me too much. Whereas if I could give them more trust and allow them to actually do some work,
Yeah.
I could then actually do my work as well.
Yeah, you're the expert, right?
I was the expert.
So you can see, like, so from our role-playing perspective, you're the manager who I'm consistently asking for information from.
Yeah.
But you're not doing it because you're too busy doing your team's job. You've delegated back to yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
but not the
But that depends if people are one-dimensional, because a good expert would actually trust their team because they've built their team up, and then can just let them go and then do something else.
Yeah, so you're right. That goes back to a conversation there with Nigel. Like, expert also has other action logics to rely on, or can have other actions. It's when you just use that one-dimensional aspect, or when that's the only thing that you have left, perhaps. Yeah. So. Yeah.
When halfway through the game, you said actually you're going to be the person who's going to dish out things. I'm really happy with you. Was that planned? And what were you hoping to achieve? What was kind of the thought behind that?
Definitely wasn't planned. I knew what I actually had because I'm conniving. So I knew that he had this role. I could see what was happening, and I thought, well, there's an interesting opportunity to see what happens. So it was just like, I guess it's like from. Like the Dark Knight, like an agent of chaos. Like, just threw that in, and let's just see what would happen, right? What I was anticipating is it would create dysfunction or exasperate, right? So we've got ourselves here a opportunist who has looking good, right? Looking shiny, looking like our star in our organisation, but that's outwardly looking, but it's not backed up necessarily by like the individual work, right? So what happens when that person gets promoted? Right. What does that look like? Yeah.
I went over and asked the question. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I'm not. I got told that you're supposed to tell me the answer." So.
Just reflecting back on you, how do you feel it went?
Yeah, thank you. But I really have a school project to provide a load of flags, so this was just an excuse for that. No, I'm kidding. yeah. Well, number one, right? I feel like there's a nice energy in this space, right, where we've had some fun. So that's like minimum requirement, and I thank everyone for bringing so much energy into the space and helping maintain that space, so thank you. We've been able to see some of the connections form, right? We can start seeing the relationship between these roles, that's good. I think from a retrospective perspective, there's a retrospective perspective. Something like the initial setup, let's maybe just do a practice round, then introduce the role play, but I think kind of reinforcing that seemed to work okay. So I'm happy, but that's just me. I guess more importantly, how do you guys feel?
I've got two feedbacks about the game itself, and I think it was very, very insightful, and I think some organizations really need to go through this exercise because it's a way to expose dynamics that are there, but sometimes are unseen and therefore underestimated. Yeah. And a good example for that is that what if you would add in the rules of the game the dynamic that came getting this role promoted? What is the impact? Because I observe the impact. Because our line manager came with a very good proposal, like we heard that we need to deliver a feature, and she proposed that why don't we join forces to deliver a feature? And she was absolutely smashed down. So to your point is when you promote the wrong person, the wrong behaviors might be triggered. Yeah. And the second is when you then were explaining the roles, those who were spotted versus the one that weren't, for the game they might add some points in their card because it means that they play the role effectively. So in the scorecard, add 1 point or 2 points if one or all of your team members have recognized you as such. Could be a nice gamification bit. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll, by the way, on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever medium works for you, I'd love to collect feedback and insight, and I'll give a copy. If anyone wants a copy of this stuff, just let us know. I think generally we can put it on the Bryter Work website, right? The same as again, so you can just download it, all the materials, etc. Just go and play with it. Of course, if you want to play it in your organisation with me, let me know. So one more question. I think we'll look at the board.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one thing. So I think it reinforces the idea that everything starts from the top. So what I found interesting is when you change the rules of the game on the last round, when you said, now you don't have 6 minutes, you get 4 minutes. Yeah. So that basically means you don't have 2 weeks to plan your quarter, you get 1 week. Yeah. So it changed the dynamic within the team where, I don't know how my team felt, but it felt more chaotic or chaotic. Yeah. So basically, even though we are getting to the really good sustainable pace in terms of planning, in terms of coming up with the ideas, That little shift changed the actual dynamic where it felt more chaotic and harder to actually plan and deliver what was asked.
Yeah, this is good. I think time is probably getting to into, so I think, Gemma, we'll pass to you in a moment, but one final point, we won't get into the depth of it, but like, I didn't take an experiment-based approach to change, right? I just went, do you know what? You guys are doing a great job. We're going to just reduce our planning. I think it'd be more effective. I had a hypothesis, right? But I didn't really have any way of testing if it was safe. So what we could have done was an inclusive experiment-based approach to change, where we said, okay, what could we collectively do to be more effective? This game was not about that, right? And I think we talked about dimensionality. Like, we were playing caricatures of real people, right? And there are only like limited dimensions that we could bring through. So I was having fun as a role play. I think hopefully people are like bringing that kind of like sense of fun. People are more nuanced, and we can be more compassionate and more empathetic to them in the real world. But perhaps this connects some insights to how people might be feeling and sensing and turning up each day. Gemma, let me pass to you to show us this awesome picture.
So whilst all of you have been playing the game, me and Amy were eavesdropping into your conversations and then drawing those up as we went. So we've got a little bit at the start about winnable versus unwinnable games, and then a little bit about how that might make you feel. In round one, Amy created like a bit of a word cloud around what was happening at the time. We saw people just grabbing things off the backlog fairly randomly, chaotically, and although there was like a little bit of disorganisation, actually, it was actually a fairly productive round. Round two, we started to see some of the kind of secret behaviours emerging. So although there was some kind of improvements, we saw people like Ashley going and grabbing the glory from the teams. We also saw like some evidence of people trying to come up with some good ideas and then them just being squashed down. Hush about that. So yeah. A really good chance for us to sort of see some of those action logics in play, and also to understand how those might create some tensions within teams. So yeah, that's it. A very, very brief run through of what we did today. And if anybody wants to take a photo of it, you're very, very welcome. So we've got Charmander, Rhinos, H5N1 and Wonder Flags, and of course if you want to add your winning scores to that, you're very welcome to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. So if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about Bryter work, the consultancy, which we've got Carl, who is one of our coaches for, please do let us know. Carl is also running courses as well for AWA Global. So as you can tell, he's a fabulous game designer. So he's got a game design course that is coming up. And also he's got a metrics course as well. So again, just really being able to take some stuff that you might need to do every day to be able to kind of evidence things and make good decisions in your organisation, but implement it in a really fun, engaging and playful way. So if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about that or how we could get involved in any of your organisations, please do just grab us at the end of this session. But otherwise, I'd just like to say thank you very much to Hiscox, and also thank you very much to Carl.
Thank you everyone.